Hello, my wonderful friends. Magus with you on a beautiful day in Asha. There's a covenant, a message, a word written in your heart of hearts. And it brings peace, and it brings love and protection and provision and clarity and purpose. And I want us to remember that covenant, that word written. I want you to recall it today. I'm going to ask that you sit. You can sit in a chair, or you can sit on the ground with your legs crossed and your spine erect. I want you to take your hands, thumb to your ring finger, and lay them in your lap. And breathe in and release. And I want you to set an intention to connect with good spirit and to recall who you are. Divine feminine, divine masculine, one. God, man, one. Conscious, subconscious, one. I am the 9. I am the channel for Spirit's love into the earth. Magus, High Priestess. Elokoma enaloko pesanana. Umeyala kendo bosomana. Elekoma nehesa mokulu koma edeketo bosomana. Allow yourself to go deeper into your heart of hearts. To that place of God. That place of light. Feel that love. Feel that peace. Feel that power. Fear does not exist in this place. Asha is. Love is. See that light in your heart. See that light that is you. And see how the darkness cannot enter this place. Remember, all is well. all is good, all is God. That is the real, that is the truth. When I was a little child in my father's palace and enjoyed the wealth and luxury of those who nurtured me, my parents equipped me with provision and sent me out from the east, our homeland. And from the wealth of our treasury they gave me a great burden, which was light so that I could carry it by myself. Gold from the land above, silver from great treasuries and stones, chalcedonies of India, agates from Kushan, and they girded me with steel, and they took away from me the garment set with gems and spangled with gold, which they had made out of love for me, and the yellow robe, which was made for my size. And they made a covenant with me, and they made a covenant with me, and they made a covenant with me, and wrote it in my mind that I might not forget. If you go down to Egypt and bring the one pearl, which is in the land of the devouring serpent, you shall put on again that garment set with stones, and the robe which lies over it. And with your brother, our next in command, you shall be a herald of our kingdom. So I departed from the east on a difficult and frightening road, led by 2 guides, and I was very young to travel on it, and I passed over the borders of Mosani, where there is the meeting place of the merchants of the east, and reached the land of the Babylonians, and I went down to Egypt, and my companions parted from me. I went straight to the serpent and stayed near his den until he should slumber and sleep, so that I might take the pearl from him. Being alone, I altered my appearance and seemed an alien even to my own people, but I saw one of my kinsmen there, a free-born man from the east, a youth fair and beautiful, the son of the courtiers. And he came and kept me company, and I made him my intimate friend, a comrade with whom I communicated my business. And being exhorted to guard against the Egyptians and against partaking of unclean things, I clothed myself in garments like theirs, so I would not be seen as a stranger and as one who had come from abroad to take the pearl, lest the Egyptians might arouse the serpent against me. But somehow they learned that I was not their countryman, and they dealt with me treacherously. And I tasted their food, and I no longer recognized that I was a king's son, and I served their king, and I forgot the pearl for which my parents had sent me. And I fell into a deep sleep because of the heaviness of their food. While I was suffering these things, my parents were aware of it, and they grieved over me. And a proclamation was heralded in our kingdom that all should present themselves at our doors. The kings of Parthia and those in office, and the great men of the east resolved that I should not be left in Egypt. So the courtiers wrote me a letter. From your father, the king of kings, and your mother, the mistress of the east, to our son in Egypt. Greetings, awake and arise from your sleep. Listen to the words in this letter. Listen. Remember, you are the son of a king. You have fallen beneath the yoke of slavery. Remember your gold-spangled garment. Recall the pearl for which you were sent to Egypt. Your name has been called to the book of life, together with that of your brother whom you have received in our kingdom. and the king sealed it to make it an ambassador. I rose from sleep when I recognized its voice. I took it up and kissed it as I read. And what was written concerned that which was engraved upon my own heart. And I immediately remembered that I was the son of the king, and that my freedom demanded my people. I remembered the pearl for which I had been sent to Egypt, and the fact that I had come to snatch it from the terrifying serpent. And I subdued it by calling out my father's name, love, love, love. And I snatched the pearl and turned about to go to my parents' house, and I took off the dirty clothing and I left it behind in their land and directed my way forthwith to the light of our eastern home. And on the road I found a female who lifted me up, and she awakened me, giving me an oracle with her voice, and guided me to the light. The royal silken garment shone before my eyes, and with familial love leading me and drawing me on, I passed the labyrinth, and leaving Babylon behind, on the left I reached Mesen, which is a great coast. But I could not recall my splendor, for it had been a while. I was still a child and quite young that I had left it behind in my father's palace. But when suddenly I saw my garment reflected as in a mirror, I perceived in it my whole self as well. For though we originated from the one and the same, we were partially divided, and then again we were one, with a single form. The treasurers too who had brought the garment I saw as two beings, but there existed a single form in both. One royal symbol consisting of two halves, and they had my money and my wealth in their hands and gave me my reward, the fine garment of glorious colors, which was embroidered with gold and precious stones and pearls to give a good appearance. And it was fastened at the collar, and the image of the King of Kings was all over it. Stones of lapis lazuli had been skillfully fixed into the collar, and I saw in turn that motions of knowledge were stirring throughout it, and that it was prepared to speak. Then I heard it speak, and it is I who belong to the one who is stronger than all people, and for whose sake I was written about by the Father himself. And I took note of my stature, and all the royal feelings rested on me as its energy increased. Thrust out by his hand, the garment hastened to me as I went to receive it, and a longing aroused me to rush and meet it and receive it, and I stretched out and took it and adorned myself with the beauty of its colors, and I covered myself completely with my royal robe. When I had put it on, I ascended to the land of peace and homage.